Ironwood Games. This is Andrew, and thanks for joining me again on this quick draft, Brothers War. We're playing this uh, red-white um, aggro deck, kind of low curve. Um, we are 1-1 right now. We're going to try to get into a game 3. And see how we do. Alright, looks like we found a match. Alright, so we'll see what we can do. 3 lands and some pretty expensive things. I don't think this is a winning hand, right? Like, if I'm drawing things, something I can play, I'm going to play it. Otherwise, if I get to land turn 4, I've played 3 lands, playing my 4th land and one of my 4 drops. Drawing my 5th land to play my 5 drop, which means I have 1 or 2 cards left in hand at the time. For Psychosis Crawler, I don't think it's good without having other stuff to do, so we're going to send this one back. This is really not much better. The biggest thing is it has more colors. But it is so bad. What would we send back? Cavalry? I'm gonna keep it. I think you could get better at 5. It could get much worse. Since that's an Artificer, I could play Chain Dancer into Cavalry. Juggernaut seems so good. Let's get rid of Thopter. Architect. Let's hope we need to draw at least 1, if not 2 lands. But then, 2 and 3 drops are also fine. So there's a lot of decent draws we could have here. If we draw 4s and 5s and no land, I'll be a little bit grumpy. And then we're going to lose, and that's just what it is. So let's see, we've got green-white here. Phalanx Vanguard. Okay, so we did draw a 4th land. Unfortunately, that means we don't have a play until turn 4. But we do potentially have 4 drops if we don't hit that other land. Depending on what we get, what my opponent does here, they're gonna. Looks like they're playing green-white artifacts. On that, because Chain Dancer is good, but also likely eats a kill spell, and it's better when we have mana to activate him. I'm gonna play Scrapwork Cohort, because if they kill one of these off, I think I'm happy to trade with the Perimeter Patrol, and then I can still put the counter on the other soldier. If we draw a land, we can do either of those or the Juggernaut. If we don't, we can Chain Dancer on that. So he's offering this trade. He's kept all his mana open. Yeah, I'm willing to see what he's got, if he's got some way to save it. Otherwise, we'll trade off a big thing for a Prowler, sure. I don't know what kind of recursion he's got, some kind of recommission, there you go, to get back an artifact. And yeah, that seems pretty good. Oh, we already had the 5th land, we knew that. So the challenge with Juggernaut is it has to attack. We don't have a good block, so we would look at taking 3, 6, 8, and going down to that. So I'm going to play out my land. We're at 5, which I think we play Chain Dancer. We might have should have played Cavalry and put the counter here to have better blocks, but I was running out of time there, and I got a little ahead of, inside my head on some thinking through. Once we can stabilize and keep them from attacking every turn, then Juggernaut is pretty good. In that, yes, it has to attack, and then they can choose to trade it with something. Who attacks? Or they can take 5 and they're not having profitable attacks. So this is kind of the turn that could potentially make a difference. Yeah, sure, you can get in another 4. Haywire Might is really good against like Juggernaut, which is exactly what my opponent wants to be doing. That's unfortunate. I think we riposte. They've only got 1 card in hand. We have 6. Oh, it's non-creature artifact. I didn't realize that, so that's actually fine. So I'll give him a target with the Power Blade. I will... So I can't equip it to the Juggernaut and have the mana for riposte. So I'm going to equip it to the Chain Dancer. Yeah, I think we will just get rid of this automaton, and if he has a trick to save it, then we get it out of his hand. Otherwise, we gain a little bit of life. We bring that back down. We have to attack with the Juggernaut, which again, he can, or they can take the 5 right now. Eventually, that does become a problem for them. The other thing about doing riposte is it lets me keep up more potential mana for Chain Dancer. Drawing a land, I can play 5 and I have 2 open for Chain Dancer. I can Scrapwork Cohort just to get a little bit wider. There's an argument for putting the blade on like my soldier just to make it trade with things. Which again I could do next turn. But they've shown themselves to be content kind of not attacking into this board state. So I don't know what they have in their deck, what maybe they're hoping to draw into. I am at 10, and so it's a little risky. I can't just afford to take your graveyard to your hand. Sure. You know, I just can't take all the risks in the world, especially with Automaton likely coming back. So I'm at 6. If we keep 2 open here or here, we have 4 to play with. which means we can just grab our cohort. This trades with everything he has. So I'm going to attack with these two. Again, if he doesn't want to trade and takes 8, he goes to 8. Oh, this is double strike. The Power Blade wouldn't have helped there anyways. That's fine. I get nothing else out of attacking with it anyways. He goes to 10. I will move the Power Blade onto one of my tokens, just so it can potentially trade with any of his things. Likely he puts down the Automaton and picks humans again. So buff them all. Yeah, that's fine. I think I still have good trades. And again, this Juggernaut gets to the point where at some point you have to stop it. So here he should give his Lauren flying just because it's the biggest thing and brings me the closest down. Or his Vanguard once he gets the plus. That's fine. But take me down to 4 makes sense. The only downside then he doesn't have as many blockers available. But I think he's got plenty to block with. And we know, while our opponent doesn't, that we do have this ambush paratrooper, which could soak up the damage. Oh, he's just going for everything. Okay. Does he have enough? I don't know. Let's see. Thinking he was counting on this being a double strike. Are you trying to figure out where to pump? Because I also don't know the answer to that. So this would eat here. I would take 4, go to 8 if I don't chump that. This could deal with the Thresher. Trade for Haywire Might, and then if this is a chump anyways, we might as well chump. And if he's got +3, because we're looking at taking 7, if he can Giant Growth +3 something, then he has lethal. Yeah, but didn't put it on. And I suppose that's fine. In that killed off most of my board and kept it alive. But I'm pretty sure I was tapped out and he could have just put it on like the Phalanx and gone for lethal. Because here I've got to attack for 5. We can put it on the Juggernaut just to make it a more impressive attack. And then we're dead on the Crackback here. Because I can't stop 4 of these creatures. So he was able to go a little bit wider than us. Yeah, I'm not sure why he didn't Giant Growth on one of the unblocked creatures and instead decided to keep something alive. It worked out. He did get through there on that. I don't know what I could have drawn to get out of it that would have changed that. But I think since I was tapped out at that point, to me it seems like go for the win on that, just in case I have something, board wipe of some sort. I'm trying to think what's in Brothers War that could make us somewhat difference, kill something, gain some life, or something to that effect. All right, let's go to game 4. Let's see if we can tie this back up and redeem ourselves, or if this is going to be a 1-3 embarrassment. So I also don't know on the... I don't have white. I don't love this. We do have more white in the deck than other colors. We have enough to play the Thopter. I'm going to keep it. Yeah, on that last one I was going to say I don't know if the first mulligan was right, if keeping the second one was right. If we had mulled more aggressively, if we would have been in a better spot. Since the second hand was essentially very similar to the first hand, in that case I think keeping the first hand might have put us in a better spot. But it's hard to say. I won't say it's impossible to know. It's hard to say. And there was a turn where we definitely misplayed, didn't use our mana properly, and could have got a couple other things down and maybe built our board state a little bit differently that might have given us we'll put out the Thopter, but if we build our board state differently, might have given us different options or different outs on that. Anyways, we're gonna... Okay, so because of the Wing Commando, I don't really want to make the trade here, and I have bigger things on the ground that will eventually blank this mutt. The Dwarven Forge Chanter being a really great one. So I think what we're going to do... So he's tapped out. If he has... Since this has Prowess, I think we attack, though. Because I'd hate for it to be a kill spell and the Prowess trigger. And then we don't even get a force, our opponent to buff this guy in order to make the attack. And in red, and red-blue in particular, Sahili. Yeah, that's fine, because we have Deadly Riposte. When you tap an untapped artifact you control if you do draw a card. That's actually good against the Scrapwork with Scrapwork Mutt, but you're going to create colorless Thopter artifact creature. Sure, okay. At this point, we kind of just want to get the Sahili off the battlefield. Yeah, you're tapped out. I'm going to kill your Wing Commando. Just get... a few things out of the way. Here... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we'll play the Warlord's Elite. But first we're going to send everything it's a Healy, and force at least a trade, if not a chump, which I'm fine with. I think, yeah, we play the Warlord's Elite because it just uses our mana most efficiently. A little bit worried about like a bounce or a burn or something that does it. But even then, he's got to have 2 things. He's only got 4 land. I'm not super worried about yeah, Saheeli. I think just long-term value, yeah, is bad.
Let's see where this train of thought leads.
Getting just repeated scries and other things is potentially problematic. So here, can chump. If we play out the Thopter, we could play out the prototype Dragon Engine. I think I'm going to do that. Next. The question is, do I send the damage at him, knowing I have other things? Yeah, or do I just clear out Saheeli while I can? Yeah, okay. I think that was my original plan, so I think we're going to do that and see. Yeah, in that case, doesn't trade the Thopter.
Good ideas for next time.
Which is fine. And then it's a question of, yeah, which I think makes the most sense, is just play the prototype. It's not likely I'm going to get to 8 anytime soon. To get there, I don't really want to get to 8, so I'd rather draw other things. I've got Dig Site to surveil, which probably will end up putting, if I see lands, we'll throw lands away, just because we have a lot of other things, and once we get to 5 or 6, we're in pretty good shape. Cool. The Rock Hunter is really good against our Dragon Engine. Recommission is pretty good. Can get back our Forge Chanter. I think we play Mael, or Myrel, so that we can attack with her next turn after having played out the cohort, and just having more soldiers on board. The question is, do we offer the trade? Yeah, I think we do. Seeing as our opponent got rid of Sibling Rivalry, we were playing red, blue, maybe some prowess, thinking we probably have, we're likely to see some tricks, some other direct target things, something to take care of our creatures, and so we might as well get in the damage where we can, or make the trades where we can. So there's a chance he did this just for the draw discard, but on the off chance that we've got a deal 2 to finish out a thing, I really don't want to block. I think I can afford to take 2. because it feels too easy. And that is one thing that's nice with Unearth sometimes, is you can make some of those plays or things. So now this is interesting because the Thopter could give Myrel flying next turn when we do that, because right now Myrel could get double blocked. We would get to go wide, but I think I like play this out a little bit more. We'll go in for one more. Yeah, see if we can get the trade here. Our opponent has been somewhat conservative. Isn't putting too many threats on the board. Sure, that's good. Does have a decent amount of draw, and that's really good for them. So here's what we're gonna do: is we are going to, we're gonna give Myrel flying, and then we're gonna give my Warlord's Elite flying, and we're gonna play a land. My opponent's at 15. This is 7. We could recommission something. Like the Dragon Engine to send another 2 to make it 9. And kind of force a block and go wide. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, it's because the prototype. Alright, let's cancel that. We don't want to do that, because it won't give us any triggers. So let's go here. We're not going to attack into the energy refractor. And then we're going to create a bunch of things. Oh, yeah, okay. Our opponent decided to scoop there. I forget that those would trigger. And we knew about that. I think we talked about that when we were doing the draft, that we could attack and then get those creatures, and those creatures would trigger and give us other flying. And I missed it there. We should have attacked with the Thopter Architect because it would get flying. Our other creatures had summoning sickness, so they couldn't attack. So, all right. We're running up to 30 minutes here on this video, so I'm gonna end it here. Join us for the next one. Hopefully we get our third win before we get our third loss. I'd really, like to keep the wins going, but you never know. So thanks for joining. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Let me know what kind of arena videos you'd like to see, and I'll see if I can make some more along those lines. So until next time.